Hey everyone, my name is Oyegunwa Joy Ogoluwa, the group leader for Chemistry Education Group 1. We are discussing on the topic the United Nations Organization and conflict resolution, and examination of its origin, strategies and relevance to peace building in Nigeria and Africa. The United Nations helps to resolve conflict and minimum peace through organs like the United Nations Society, Security Council and the International Court of Justice. It uses strategies such as peacekeeping, mediation and peace building to reduce conflicts in Nigeria and Africa. The UN, the United States, the United Nations supports stability, security and development despite some challenges. Thank you.
The United Nations was created as a result of the terrible destruction caused by World War II. After two World Wars within 30 years, countries realized that a strong international organization was needed to prevent global conflict and maintain peace. Background before the United Nations. After World War I, world leaders formed the League of Nations in 1920. Its aim was to prevent wars, promote peaceful settlement of disputes, and also encourage cooperation among nations. We have the ideas of the United Nations during World War II. While World War II was still going on, Allied leaders began planning for a new organization that would be stronger and more effective than the League of the Nations.
The League of Nations was established in 1920 after World War I through the Treaty of Versailles. Its main aim was to maintain world peace and prevent another world war by encouraging countries to settle disputes peacefully. However, the League later failed because it had no military power. Major countries like United States did not join, and its decision-making process was slow and weak. Some major failures of the League included Japan's invasion of Manchuria, Italy's invasion of Ethiopia, and Germany's aggressive actions under Adolf Hitler. Although the League condemned these actions, it could not stop them effectively. As a result, the League lost respect internationally. Aggressive nations became stronger, and this eventually contributed to the outbreak of World War II. In 1946, the League was dissolved and replaced by the United Nations.
The aims of the United Nations was established to maintain international peace and security, promote friendly relations among nations, encourage internation and promote human rights. The principles of the United Nations include equalities of all member states, peaceful settlements of disputes, avoid using force, cooperation among nations, and non-interference in a country's internal affairs unless needed to maintain international peace and security.
We have 6 major organs in the United Nations. We have one General Assembly, we have Security Council, we have Economic and Social Council, we have International Court of Justice, we have Stewardship Council, and we have Secretariat. One, the General Assembly, they are the main deliberative body in which they make decisions and discuss global issues. Security Council, they are responsible for maintaining international peace and security.
The third one is Economic and Social Council. They help to handle economic, social and environmental matters, and they promote development. The fourth one is International Court of Justice, ICJ. They help to settle legal disputes between countries, and they are located in the Hague. We have the Secretariat, which is the fifth. They help to carry out daily activities of the UN, and we have the Trusteeship Council. They are created to supervise trust territories, and they have been inactive since every country has been gaining independence.
Specialized agencies are organizations connected to the UN that perform special duties in areas like health, labor, education, agriculture, and finance. Examples of specialized agencies: we have the World Health Organization, UNESCO, Food and Agriculture Organization, International Labour Organization, and we have the International Monetary Fund. What are the functions of these examples? The WHO improves health, they fight disease and give vaccines. An example is where WHO helped Nigeria during the Ebola outbreak. UNESCO promotes education, protects culture and traditions. UNESCO recognizes some cultural sites in Africa. Food and Agricultural Organizations helps farmers, reduces hunger and improves food production. FAO, they generally supports farming in Nigeria. So we have importance of the specialized agencies. They help in developing countries. They improve health and education. They reduce poverty and hunger. They support peace and development. And the challenges: The major challenge they face is lack of enough money, then war and insecurity, poor cooperation.
Preventing diplomacy and mediation in international peace building. Prevent diplomacy and mediation are important methods used to maintain peace and prevent conflict in the international community. Preventing diplomacy refers to the peacekeeping, taking actions and disputes before they become violent. It includes diplomacy, negotiation and peacekeeping before efforts aimed at preventing conflict early. Mediation, on the other hand, is the process where a natural third party helps conflicting groups reach in peaceful agreement through dialogue and negotiation. One major difference is that preventing diplomacy happens before violence starts, while mediation usually takes place in another conflict has already begun. An example of mediation was the role played by Kofi Annan during the 2008 Kenya crisis, where dialogue helped restore.
In conciliation, a neutral person helps both sides agree without forcing a decision. An example is a conciliator. They help two workers and their employee agree on unpaid salary. Arbitration. A neutral arbitrator listens to both sides and give a binding decision. Then judicial settlement. Judicial settlement is a court or judge settles the dispute with a final legal judgment. Example, when a landlord and a tenant case is taken to court and the judge decides who is right and who is wrong.
Peacekeeping and post-conflict peace building. Peacekeeping and post-conflict peace building are important ways of restoring peace in countries affected by war or violence. Peacekeeping is the process of sending military officers, police, and civilians to areas affected by conflicts to maintain peace and security. It is mostly carried out by the United Nations. The main aim of peacekeeping is to stop fighting between groups, protect civilians, monitor case fires, support humanitarian assistance. Post-conflict peace building happens after the conflict has ended. It focuses on rebuilding the country and preventing future violences. Its major activities include rebuilding schools, hospital, roads, promoting reconciliation among citizens, supporting economic development, strengthening government institutions, encouraging justice and human rights. The goal of peace building is to create lasting peace and stability.
Disarmament is the process of controlling, reducing, or completely removing weapons from our countries, groups, or individuals to promote peace, security, and stability. It is mainly used to prevent war, reduce violence, and stop the spread of dangerous weapons and build trust among nations. Sanctions and penalties or restrictions or punishments imposed on our country, groups, or individuals.
An example of conflict solution in Nigeria is when two communities fight over land and village elders bring them together to settle the issue peacefully. Another example is when students in school have misunderstandings and teachers help them make peace through discussion.
African example of conflict resolution. 1. Liberia Civil War. It ended in the year 2003 through the Accra Peace Agreement, brokered by the ECOWAS and the UN, followed by the disbandment and the election. This is when the regional bodies like ECOWAS can act faster than the UN in African conflicts. 2. Rwanda post the genocide. Rwanda used, after 1994, Rwanda used Garaka community courts to handle over 1 million cases through apology, confession, and community services. This is when the traditional or restorative justice works when former courts are overwhelmed.
Strength and weaknesses of the United Nations in resolving conflict. The strength of the UN. 1. They promote peace and security through peace missions. 2. They encourage dialogue and diplomacy between countries. 3. They provide humanitarian aid to victims of conflict. 4. They help promote human rights across the world. So their weaknesses. 1. Decision can be delayed because of the disagreement among member states. 2. The veto power of permanent members can block important actions. 3. Limited military powers make enforcement difficult. 4. Depends heavily on funding and support from members.